The claim that the XRP ledger is centralized is something frequently brought up by members of the Bitcoin community. However, it seems that many people don't fully unpack what this accusation really means or whether there's any truth to it. Bitcoin enthusiasts often argue that while the XRP ledger might be faster, more efficient, and offer additional features, it remains centralized. In this video, I'll explore exactly what they mean by this statement and examine whether it holds any validity. This is an important topic to delve into because much of the criticism surrounding the XRP ledger hinges on this particular claim. I've been trading crypto successfully for over 380 days, consistently closing every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $29,000 in profits by copying my trades. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in the profile description and start copying my trades for free today. Once you take a closer look and educate yourself on how the XRP ledger operates, particularly how it's actually more decentralized than Bitcoin, you'll begin to see that many of these arguments lack substance and are based on misinformation. All right, everyone, make sure to stick around until the end of the video because we're going to dive into the XRP price chart and pinpoint when I anticipate the next move. But before we get into that, I really want to address an important discussion about decentralization. This topic often comes up within the Bitcoin community, especially when we talk about the speed and efficiency of the XRP ledger, its institutional adoption, and all the reasons why XRP stands out. It's always that final criticism, the claim that the XRP ledger is centralized. Today, I want to break this down and explain why this idea isn't accurate, giving you a clearer understanding of why this major FUD fear, uncertainty, doubt point is more fiction than fact. To begin, we need to look at where the XRP ledger does have elements of centralization, which primarily relates to the XRP token supply. There are two key distinctions between Bitcoin and XRP, and understanding these differences is crucial when comparing the two. The main difference lies in how the tokens are distributed. Bitcoin uses an intricate consensus mechanism where participants contribute to the network and are rewarded with Bitcoin. Essentially, anyone can acquire Bitcoin by taking part in this consensus process, earning Bitcoin as compensation for their efforts. Over time, Bitcoin has managed to be distributed among a vast and diverse group of individuals, allowing many people to gain access to it. This widespread adoption has led to Bitcoin being shared broadly across an extensive ecosystem. In contrast, the XRP ledger approached things differently by avoiding the complexities and energy inefficiencies associated with Bitcoin. Instead, it opted to mint all tokens up front, releasing them into the network to be distributed gradually within its ecosystem. This approach, however, comes with certain trade-offs. Unlike Bitcoin, where participants can earn rewards through mining or validation, XRP does not provide similar economic incentives for people to actively engage in validating the network. As a result, individuals looking to acquire XRP generally need to purchase it, which reduces the motivation for random participants to validate the network and makes the token distribution over time more challenging. Consequently, Ripple holds a significant portion of XRP and is responsible for distributing it throughout the network. Since my involvement with the XRP ledger, Ripple's share of XRP has significantly decreased. Ripple's primary role in this process is to allocate XRP to other network participants, enabling them to engage with the ecosystem. It's worth noting that the token supply has become increasingly decentralized over time, reducing Ripple's overall control. However, this does not impact the decentralization of the network itself. A unique aspect of XRP is that its consensus mechanism operates without providing monetary rewards, setting it apart from other systems. It's important to understand that Ripple's ownership of XRP tokens, whether it's 80 billion or just 10, doesn't give them any additional control over the XRP ledger. The ledger operates independently of the token's value and remains fully decentralized. This is quite different from many other networks. Take Ethereum, for instance. The more Ethereum a person owns, the greater their influence over the network. If the XRP ledger used a proof-of-stake consensus model like Ethereum, Ripple's large holdings would be a significant concern. However, since Ripple's token ownership doesn't grant them extra authority over the network, their holdings are irrelevant to the ledger's decentralization. Let's compare this to Bitcoin. Interestingly, in the Bitcoin network, the amount of influence an entity has is tied to the hash rate it can contribute. This means those with more resources and money can generate more hash power, giving them more control over the network. Currently, 3 major mining pools control over 51% of the Bitcoin network's hash rate, which poses a centralization risk. While Bitcoin's token distribution is broader, and no single entity like Ripple holds a massive portion of it, the real control lies in mining power. This creates a situation where, despite the wide distribution of the Bitcoin token, a few mining pools wield considerable authority. By contrast, on the XRP ledger, no single party, regardless of how much validation power they contribute, can dominate the network. In this system, every validator has an equal level of influence over the network. For instance, when looking at Bitcoin, a few mining pools dominate a significant portion of the hash rate, giving them considerable control over the network. On the other hand, within the XRP ledger, each validator holds equal weight, much like if these mining pools in Bitcoin had identical influence. This means that, despite the XRP token supply being centralized around Ripple, the decentralization of the XRP ledger's network itself could arguably be greater than that of Bitcoin. This aspect is often overlooked but is arguably one of the most critical factors in this discussion. Looking into the future, the distribution of tokens is likely to shift dramatically. Ripple will eventually hold a smaller share of XRP, while companies like MicroStrategy or BlackRock might accumulate increasingly larger amounts of Bitcoin. There could come a time when MicroStrategy owns 10 to 15% of all Bitcoin, while Ripple might reduce its holdings to just 10% of XRP. The distribution of tokens will continually evolve, and no one can prevent entities from acquiring substantial quantities. Ultimately, the key factor for both networks isn't who holds the most tokens, but how the network operates independently of token ownership. It doesn't make any real difference. What truly matters is that the underlying network remains decentralized and permissionless, which is true for both Bitcoin and XRP. The key distinction lies in how the token is distributed to network participants. Bitcoin employs a highly complex consensus mechanism designed to distribute tokens broadly. However, this approach makes the network slow and inefficient due to the intricate process of token distribution. The XRP ledger, on the other hand, opted for simplicity by pre-minting all tokens up front, avoiding the unnecessary complexity that Bitcoin's system entails. This decision allows the XRP ledger to focus on creating a fast, efficient network tailored for payments. In terms of decentralization, the XRP ledger is highly decentralized, arguably even more so than Bitcoin. Yet, when it comes to token ownership, an aspect Bitcoin advocates often emphasize, it's not particularly relevant. Token ownership dynamics are always changing and don't translate into greater control over the network itself. Personally, I believe both models bring unique advantages to the table. The Bitcoin approach was excellent for onboarding a large number of people into the ecosystem. Many individuals thought, I'll just run a miner and earn some Bitcoin. This is exciting. It made participation easy and drew newcomers into the space by offering a straightforward way to get involved. However, this design has led to significant scalability challenges. For instance, if the entire global population adopted Bitcoin, each person might only manage 2 transactions in their lifetime. These limitations were the trade-offs made to achieve that initial widespread distribution. On the other hand, the XRP ledger took a different path, facing criticism over Ripple's gradual token distribution process, which some Bitcoin enthusiasts labeled as dumping. In reality, this distribution model was just part of how the system was designed. But now, the XRP ledger stands out for being incredibly fast and efficient. Once the token distribution phase is complete, those criticisms will fade away. At that point, the XRP ledger will remain fully decentralized with a lightning-fast network. These are simple, factual points about the differences in how these systems were built, points Bitcoin proponents often choose to ignore. To truly understand the trade-offs of different networks, it's crucial to approach the topic honestly and explore why these networks were designed the way they were. Without grasping the fundamental principles that make a network decentralized, it's easy to fall for feud, like when Bitcoin maximalists argue that the XRP ledger must be centralized because Ripple holds a large number of tokens. However, as we've discussed, this doesn't affect the decentralization of the network itself. Over time, that token supply will be distributed differently than how Bitcoin distributes its tokens, but it still ensures decentralization in its own way. With that clarified, I encourage you to revisit any areas that seemed unclear, rewatching the video if needed, because understanding these concepts is critical. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the XRP price chart. The setup right now looks incredibly strong, with the market appearing tightly coiled and ready for potential movement. We're gearing up for something big, and I wouldn't be shocked if some major news lands this week. What could it be? Could it involve securing that strategic reserve? Maybe some clarity on the tax front? Or even an announcement about a new Ripple partnership? Honestly, I have no clue. But this chart is screaming for action. We're seeing a huge consolidation pattern, and everything is lining up perfectly. The fundamentals have never been stronger. Despite all the recent Bitcoin FUD about XRP, both the XRP ledger and its price have shown they're unfazed. After dealing with this kind of noise for over a decade, it's business as usual. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you found this video enjoyable.